So you can imagine how eagerly awaited are this year's encounters between England and America. And we have cameras at Swindon this afternoon for the first of a 5-test series. And I can tell you historically that the country that has won in the last 4 years at Swindon has gone on to win the series. So two impressively strong squads. We have Kenny Carter leading England. They're supported by Simon Wigg, John Davis, Chris Morton, Peter Collins and Dave Jessup, with Kelvin Tatum and Phil Collins, the two reserves. America's skipper is Bobby Schwartz, and he leads Dennis Sigalos, Lance King, John Cook, Sean Moran and Sam Ermolenko. And they have two new boys as reserves, Rick Miller and Steve Lucero. Each man has 6 rides. There are 18 heats in all. And the captains certainly feel that there's going to be some very keen racing in this England match, as Gary Newbon found out.
Kenny Carter, it's perfect day, except that the track is becoming very slick as it dries. Is this going to favour the Americans?
Yeah, I think so, Gary. Last year when the track was so slick, the Americans seemed to be making the start better, and I just hope that the English boys can make the start good today, and hopefully we can win the meeting.
There's a lot of passion between these two countries when it comes to Speedway these days, Bobby Schwartz.
That's right, Gary. We really enjoy the competition levels here in England, and when we do get together to race the England boys, we seem to rise to the occasion. So we're just going to give it all our best as we normally do. So today should be some really good Speedway.
So we'll have the action for you in just a moment. I've just heard that Watford are setting the scene for it. Let's join our commentator Dave Lanning, and the interviewer during the whole presentation will be Gary Newbon.
And the American Warhead, their opening partnership of Bobby Schwartz, captain there in the white helmet colour, and Dennis Sigalos, who'll be in yellow and black, and going into the outside grid here in Heat 1 as a new test series. England versus America starts at Abbey Stadium in superb spring sunshine. We'll look across the line on the inside there in the red helmet colour, Kenny Carter, England's new skipper. He'll be in grid 1. Grid 2 has Bobby Schwartz in white. Grid 3, Simon Wigg, who made his debut here last year. He's in blue, and on the outside, Dennis Sigalos. So the action should really start up right from the moment the tapes go, and up to the first corner. It's a tight bundle. It's Schwartz and Carter and Wigg coming through on the inside, and Schwartz fighting back, and it's Carter up front. In second place, Schwartz, and Wigg has been dropped there. He's coming through on the inside again, and it's England 1-2. Fine piece of cornering from Simon Wigg. It is dusty out there. The sunshine is drying the track, and here comes Sigalos around the outside, and we have got quite a start to this test series, and Schwartz has swung outside and missed the corner. Still Carter up front. Second place now, Sigalos. Third place is Wigg, and Schwartz by no means out of contention at the back. There's Kenny Carter, England's new captain, leading his troops from the front here. Made the start, shrugged off a challenge from Schwartz. Really looks like he is going to win heat number 1. Second place, Sigalos made his move. Wigg is third. Schwartz is at the back. And the last 2 corners, Carter has given England the start they were looking for. He wins heat 1. Second place, Sigalos. Third place, Wigg. That's a 4-2 opening for England. And so England in an early lead, 4-2 after 1 race. And the line up for heat 2 on the inside in white, Lance King for America. Next to him in blue, Chris Morton from Bellevue, Manchester. Grid 3 has John Cook, Cowboy John from Ipswich, in the yellow and black helmet for the States. And on the outside, a late change in the England side coming in to replace Michael Lee, John Davis there. He'll be in red in grid 4. Here we go for heat 2. And it looks like Cook's away, and it's the Americans in front. Cook and King make the start. In third place, it is Morton, but this is the Californians in front, and all kinds of trouble there for King. Managed to hang on his back wheel. Chris Morton saw his opportunity as he got the legs. Oh, really was a tight hustle-bustle down the straight under our commentary position. King has shrugged off Morton. Up front, Cook. Second place is Lance King. Chris Morton back in third place. And this looks like a maximum heat win for the Americans, who really are battling. Here are the American pair. You saw their King with in second place, and partner Cook up front with the opportunity to look over his shoulder. Missed a couple of seasons over here. John Cook looking back for his partner into the last lap here around Abbey Stadium, 395 yards, good racing track. Morton is still battling, but the track is slick. You really have to put your neck on the line to come from the back. And this is better news for the Californians. Over the line is Cook signalling. Second place King, third place was Chris Morton, a maximum heat win for the Americans. 2 heats completed already. The score has changed hands. America now 7-5 up, coming into heat 3 with the vastly experienced Peter Collins and Dave Jessup pairing for England, in against Sean Moran, world long track champion, and a newcomer in the American ranks, Sam Ermolenko. Looking across the line on the inside, Jessup in blue. Next to him, Ermolenko, yellow and black. Grid 3 has Peter Collins in the red helmet colour. On the outside, Sean Moran, who can really motor around this Swindon track. He is on the outside in white. The Americans 2 in front. And we'll watch heat 3 and see who makes the start. Jessup on the inside, the one to watch for. And from the outside is Moran. Moran gets away. In second place, the 2 England riders tucking in. Ermolenko pulled a bit of a wheelie there. But it's Sean Moran, this little fella from Sheffield, in the British League, who does love this circuit and really is carving up heat 3. Second place is Collins, third is Jessup. I think the English pair will sit together because Ermolenko's beginning to move up on to their back wheel and breathe down their necks. Well, there is Moran, who has got clear daylight between him and second place rider Peter Collins, of course. PC with over 100 England appearances, and Dave Jessup just up over the 100 mark as well. To go into the last lap, Moran looks at the top of his form, and the battle just still developing. Ermolenko's battle, he's been dropped now. It's going to be a divided heat. So the winner of heat 3, Sean Moran from start to finish. Second, Peter Collins, red. Third, Dave Jessup in blue. That's a drawn heat. Heat 4 coming up. The score, England 8, America 10. So still the statesiders 2 in front, and the England manager, the new manager indeed, making his bow here. Carl Glover wasting no time to bring one of his reserves into the action. Phil Collins will come in for John Davis, who rode pointless in his opening ride. Phil, of course, the overseas individual champion. A late call-up for Carl Glover here in the England camp, replacing Michael Lee, who has had to withdraw through mechanical problems. So let's have a look at the lineup for heat 4. On the inside, it is going to be Bobby Schwartz, who was pointless in his first ride and won't be happy. He's the American skipper. Next to him in blue, Chris Morton for England. Grid 3 has Dennis Sigalos from the United States in the yellow and black helmet. And on the outside, coming into the action for the first time, Phil Collins. And there is Philip, of course, the, third of the Collins clans from Cheshire, rides at Cradley Heath. Really a battling, real gritty competitor who loves to get stuck, and he'll put himself around, no doubt at all about that at the first corner. Heat 4 with the Americans still 2 in front. And they're impatient to go. It must go now, away. And who's the show? It looks like Sigalos and Morton gets to the corner first. Morton in front, Sigalos is second, Schwartz is third, and Sigalos winding it up around the outside. Morton looks across his shoulder and sees he's got Sigalos really tearing around the outside. Now who's going to show in front? Absolutely wheel to wheel, and Sigalos has got the drop on the corner. Sigalos leads it. Morton is second. In third place is Schwartz closing now. Morton seems to be looking down at that machine, looking too happy at the back. Phil Collins. The Americans, of course, have won 2 test matches in the past 4 years here at Swindon. Perfectly at home around this 395-yard track. It's a bit dusty out there, but that will remind them of home. We're all from California, of course. And Sigalos, this lanky character who has moved during the winter from Ipswich to Wolverhampton in the British League, looks in complete command here of heat number 4. So the checkered flag out for Dennis Sigalos, he wins it. Second place hanging on, Chris Morton in blue. Third place was Bobby Schwartz, so that's another 4-2 heat advantage to the Americans, who go further in front. Coming on to heat number 5, with the Americans now edging up 4 points in front. Progressively the scores, the USA 14, England on 10. And we have in heat 5 the American pairing who recorded a maximum heat win in their opening ride, Lance King and John Cook. So let's have a look across the lineup, and it is going to be on the inside Peter Collins. We're waiting for PC. He'll be in the red helmet colour. Of course, the captains tossed for gate positions, and they alternate through the programme, 1 and 3 and 2 and 4. It will be Peter Collins coming in, former captain, of course, former world champion back in 1976. Be on the inside. Next to him, Lance King in white. In grid 3, Dave Jessup with a 3rd place, first time out. And on the outside again, John Cook in yellow and black. Seem to recall that Cook came from the outside grid to win his opening ride. So England really can't afford to allow the Americans to get further ahead. They're 4 up now. This is heat 5. The English lads have got to dig in. They've got to re-entrench here. Otherwise, when these Californians get their tails up, well, they really go. Heat 5, Collins, King, Jessup, Cook. That's the way they line up from the inside. And this time they're away, and Jessup's in a flyer. Jessup and Collins, the English lads hit the front. Where is Cook? Cook is coming around the outside, but it's England 1-2 at the moment, with Dave Jessup. Such a start, such a typical characteristic start from this little man back with Kings Lynn this year. And this is what England are looking for. In front, Jessup, second place Collins, most experienced pairing in the England camp. Neither of them in their youth now. What, Dave Jessup on 31 and Peter Collins age 30. And they're looking around, and it's King that's moved up into 3rd place. And King will hustle and bustle. Americans really are competitors. Never give up. See the distance here, fine picture as they tear into the pit corner. The last lap, and Collins is having his work cut out to hold back young King. Still Jessup in front, Peter Collins finding some drive there. This is the last lap. King must make his party piece tell here if he's going to gain anything at all from heat 5. It's going to be a maximum for England. Jessup wins it, 2nd place Collins, 3rd place was King. A maximum heat win which drags the score back level. Scores all tied up then on 15 apiece after 5 heats, and in heat 6 we have got Kenny Carter and Simon Wigg for England in against the unbeaten Sean Moran and his partner Samur Malenko. So looking across the grid, it is going to be Moran on the inside, and it will be Wigg next to him in blue. Simon Wigg, of course, with Oxford, says this is going to be his big season. Talented lad, lives in Newport Pagnell, has moved from Cradley the Champions across to Oxford during the winter. The lineup from the inside, white in grid 1, Sean Moran. Grid 2, Simon Wigg in blue. Grid 3, Samur Malenko, yellow, black. And on the outside, Kenny Carter in red. This little Yorkshire Terrier who always grows in stature when he pulls on that England body colour. He won his first heat, Moran won his, so something's got to give here in heat 6 with the scores all locked together on 15 each. Heat 6, oh, Moran's got away. What a start from Sean Moran in 2nd place. Oh, it's getting terribly tight, but he's Wigg. And here comes Carter around the outside. Malenko's at the back. But Moran is looking invincible. And he has opened up a tremendous lead already. There is Sean Moran. And the England pairing will sit and try and hold back Samur Malenko, who's trying to drive around the curve. Almost picked up Wigg's back wheel. There's the battle for 2nd place with Moran a long way in front. Here's Sean Moran, just back after a nasty broken leg last season. Despite that injury, he went to the continent and won the World Long Track Championship, the first American so to do. And he really does look in his most invincible move. Moran in front, 2nd place Carter, 3rd place Wigg. Malenko nothing in diving, but this is Sean Moran, and that's a perfect picture of Speedway. Complete control of his broadsiding bike. Over the line, a win for Sean Moran. 2nd place Carter, 3rd place Wigg. And that means the scores stay locked together.
Yes, 3 points each in that heat for England and America, and they're level at 18 points after 6 heats. That's a third of the way through the competition.
The Americans still 4 in front. Progressively the score, America 26, England 22. And in heat 9, The England manager, Carl Glover, again brings in reserve Phil Collins into red helmet colouring, and Chris Morton, his partner, in blue. For the Americans, the unbeaten Sean Moran and his partner, Sam Ermolenko. So here's heat 9. And we'll watch from Moran around the outside, and he really is impatient to get on with it. And the tapes were definitely touched there. Referee Mel Price may not be too happy about that start charge. And here we have some theatre, because Sean Moran, who definitely charged the tapes, has been excluded by the referee Mel Price, who is not going to have that kind of nonsense. We rather thought that might be the case. Well, that was a crucial incident. And Moran there maybe saying his clutch had gone. You can see the Americans, there's Steve Lucero, the young reserve, coming out. And I think we might have some reaction from the American camp.
Excluded, how do you feel about that?
Very disappointed. I admit I did touch the tapes. The other side went up, but the case is there's been a few people have touched the tapes and come back. My case was the other side of the tapes went up. So I think that's what he's looking at. I can't argue with the referee, but I'm pretty disappointed.
Rick Miller is the substitute for Sean Moran, and that could really be a critical point for the Americans. They're 4 in front. This is heat 9. And the English pairing of Phil Collins and Chris Morton really should take advantage now, because this is not a particularly powerful-looking American pairing. Looking across the line on the inside, Phil Collins red. Next to him, we have Sam Ermolenko. Grid 3 has Chris Morton. And coming into the action cold, we have Rick Miller from Coventry, who's, well, he's a polished performer, but he's had some back trouble, which caused him to drop down from the team into a reserve slot for the Americans today. Big moment for him coming in. If he can click, the Americans will really be looking good. Here's heat 9. Ermolenko is rearing and bucking and around the outside. It is Miller, and on the inside is Phil Collins, and Miller nearly went through the fence, and Collins has come through, and Morton's going hard on the inside of Miller, and it really is getting tight at the back as the English pairing hit the front. Phil Collins leads it. Second place is Morton. Third is Miller. And the action is hectic. Rather felt that England might take advantage here of Sean Moran's exclusion. Phil Collins with lots of time to look over for Chris Morton. Of course, the pair of them both live in Cheshire, known each other for years. There's a bit of a clan up there. And Chris Morton has grown up with the Collins brothers. They know each other's style, and they're looking consummately at ease now. Into the last lap. This is good news for England as this seesaw test match swings one way and then the other. Ermolenko's close right up. The English pairing cannot afford to dally. And Ermolenko really has been battling. I don't think he's just got the legs here. Morton just on the line. Second place, Phil Collins. Third was Ermolenko. A maximum heat win, just what the doctor ordered for England at the halfway stage, which brings the scores back level again.
Yes, 5 points to England, 1 to America, so the score is level at 27 points each.
Well, we said right at the start it couldn't be better poised and more equal, and midway through this first test match it's still the same story. Couldn't be better. 27 points apiece. We're moving into the second half. We've got some fabulous racing to be sure to come, and it could still go either way. A packed crowd here. Well, it would take a very brave fan to wager with any confidence about the outcome of this first test match. Heat 10, let's have a look at it. On the inside, it's going to be Bobby Schwartz. Next to him, it will be Simon Wigg in blue. Grid 3, we'll have Dennis Sigalos, who's only been beaten once. He has a total of 8 points. And Kenny Carter, who's had a win and 2 second places. There's Carter on the outside here. And indeed, it's worth thinking about that Carter was the man who beat Sigalos early on. There's Carter, who really has taken this job as England's skipper very much to heart. Likes to lead his troops from the front. And of course there's not much love lost between him and the Americans, harking way back to that Los Angeles World Final with that torrid clash with Bruce Pennell. Heat 10, the score is still level. It's terribly tight down there. Oh, Carter again with impatience, and the referee might not be too happy. And we have again some drama. And Carter is being accused of charging the tapes. And just as we thought, referee Mel Price having no nonsense, and this time it is Kenny Carter who gets the axe. He has been excluded for tape charging. Well, there's Carter returning to the pits, and I don't think he'll be very happy with himself about that decision.
The replacement driver in heat 10 in red is Kelvin Tatum. So this is Don's man around here. There's the time to give a shout for young Kelvin.
Well, there's an agitated Kenny Carter who clearly is unhappy, and we know this young man from the past is not short of a word or two. We've got Gary Newbon down there with him.
Well, Kenny, we can show you a playback of that. How did you see it?
If you watch in a minute, I touched the tapes.
Well, with me down here
And look at Dennis Sigalos now, he just put his hand up, look at that. And how can he exclude me for that? Dennis Sigalos pulled back and put his hands up, and look at this now. Look at Sigalos, and he's excluding me.
So that was the wrong decision in your
Well, I
book.
think it's Dennis Sigalos, he just pulled back and put his hand up, it's not my fault.
It gives a debut to Tatum, young 20-year-old Kelvin Tatum, so, you know, you're level on points.
Yeah, but, I mean, we're level on points, we're racing for it, it's a good match, and he goes and excludes me. If you watch the tapes, Sigalos, I touched the tapes, so when I pulled back, Sigalos just puts his hand up, and that messes the race up, and the referee excludes
And
me.
we're still waiting for car number LPC888W to be moved. LPC888.
And a clearly unhappy Kenny Carter, and on such decisions could this match hinge. We saw the Americans suffered when they lost Sean Moran. Now how will England react to the loss of their skipper, because it brings into the action Kelvin Tatum, 20-year-old ex-public school boy, the sensation of the season down there at Wimbledon. He'll be in the red helmet. What a time for this young man to make his international bow at senior level. There he is out there, Kelvin Tatum. What must be going through his mind? The score's level at 27 points apiece. He comes in to replace his captain, the clearly aggrieved Kenny Carter. And as we rather thought, this test match living up to all its expectations. Well, of such stuff are storybooks written. If Tatum can come in and win his first race, well, that'll go down in a fairy story. So let's just remind you the score, 27 points apiece. This is heat 10. We're into the second half of this first test match. England have lost their skipper, Kenny Carter excluded, which brings into the fray young Kelvin Tatum, 20-year-old, for his first ride. He'll be on the outside there in red. And really, what must be going through his mind, he must control the butterflies. He's coming in against Schwartz and Sigalos, the top American pairing. And we have high drama here at Abbey Stadium, Swindon. The lineup on the inside, Schwartz, next to him Wigg, grid 3 Sigalos, said to be the guilty man. And Tatum has his hand up on the outside, perhaps he can't see the green light. Heat 10, so tight, so nail-biting. And it looks like Wigg up to the first corner, doing his stuff for the Lions. Coming around the outside is Sigalos, and what a beautiful corner from Dennis Sigalos. He leads it. Second place now is Wigg. In third place, it is Schwartz and Tatum at the back, and perhaps we were expecting far too much of this young man. Once again, it was a picture, a couple of corners from Dennis Sigalos. He is now leading. Wigg is second. Schwartz ducking and diving and buzzing on his back wheel, just waiting for the opening. He's getting a bit dusty out there. Wigg drops back across Schwartz there. He left the opening down the inside. Really is the way to attack here at Swindon. You can come under a rider from a long way back. And here comes Schwartz coming under hard. Oh, bold piece of impudent cornering from Bobby Schwartz. And Wigg was a little complacent there. He just can't afford to do that with the Americans. Sigalos in front, second place Schwartz. And Wigg, who was in front, is now back in third place. And he'll be kicking himself about that. Fine race by the American pair. Both have come through from the back. Sigalos will win it. Second place Schwartz, third place Wigg. maximum heat win for the Americans, who push their noses in front again. And there's Kenny Carter going back to the pits, and well, we know how explosive he is, and he will be unhappy with life. 39, America 45, but England still with everything to do, with just 4 races left. They should be 4 really fantastic races as we come into heat 15 with the clearly upset Kenny Carter in red, anxious to make amends for that tape exclusion. He's on the inside. Next to him we have in yellow and black Sam Ermolenko for the Americans. Grid 3 has Simon Wigg, who's been consistent with 4 third places. And on the outside, Sean Moran, and that really will be the danger for England here. And once again, the delay is being caused while the track is just dampened down by the crop sprayer. Well, there is Kenny Carter, England's skipper, who, as always, has word to say about any controversial incident. Still feeling a little bit peaked and upset about his exclusion. He feels that it was gamesmanship by Sigalos that got him excluded. And when Kenny's fired up, well, we all know what can happen then. He'll be really putting himself about here at the first corner. Carter on the inside, and he is in the pole position. And if he does see daylight, expect him to take him all up to the apex of the turn. He's got Sean Moran, and Moran has been like grease lightning from the outside. So we'll look for the scissors with Carter coming from the inside and Moran coming from the outside. There is Sean Moran. He too has had a tape exclusion, so they'll be on their best behaviour as referee Mel Price gets them underway. And who's it to be? It is the pushing and shoving up to the corner and out of the melee. It was Sean Moran, and Moran's in trouble. Moran's in trouble. The bike has stopped. We wonder if it was the pushing up to the corner that did the damage, but England move up in front, and that's a stroke of luck at just the right moment for the English. In front Wigg, second place Carter, third place Ermolenko, who got the rough edge of Carter's elbow up to the first corner. And Moran also got a nudge there, and the bike packed up, and England said thank you very much, they're in front, and this is going to make an awful lot of difference to the complexion of the score in this first test match. And Wigg in front, and looking confident and cocky. There's Simon Wigg, one of the younger members of the England squad, only 23 years old, grass track star. Carter tucking in behind him. A little bit fortuitous here, England, but on such strokes of fortune, our matches won, lost, and reputations made. There's Wigg, and the last corner, and Wigg wins it. Second place, Carter signalling, pulling the air, fisting the air. That's the maximum heat win for England. There's only 2 points in it now. So England, 8 points down 2 races ago, are now within 2 points of the Americans with 3 heats remaining. Everybody here at Swindon on edge. Nobody's leaving the stadium. What a climax coming up. Heat 16 with Peter Collins and Dave Jessup for England, Bobby Schwartz and Sigalos for the Americans. On the inside it's Schwartz, next to him Jessup. Grid 3 has Sigalos unbeaten in his last 4 rides. On the outside, Peter Collins. The start will be crucial here. The 2 most experienced pairings. Heat 16 underway, and Jessup's got a flyer. Oh, what a start from DJ. Jessup's away. Here comes Sigalos around the outside. He attacks here and just seems to find another gear. And Jessup is trying to go with him. It just hasn't got the horsepower. So now it is Sigalos in front. And here comes Peter Collins after Bobby Schwartz, who is in 3rd place. It is all happening here at Swindon. So crucial. Every point, every corner, every yard now means something very special. Sigalos in front. Jessup is in 2nd place. The battle really is for 3rd place. And Collins has switched down the inside of Schwartz. And that's an important manoeuvre. Oh, very, very tight at the back. You can see the battle for the odd point. And Schwartz is giving nothing away and is bursting back under Peter Collins. What a race. What a race. Into the last lap. It is still Sigalos. Jessup is 2nd. Peter Collins holding on grimly as Schwartz battles. They know every point is vital. There's the battle for the odd point. It's all going to hinge on that one perhaps, and Schwartz is just going to miss out. Sigalos will win. 2nd place, Jessup a fighting 3rd place from Peter Collins. Points divided. It's still terribly tight. 2 heats remaining, 2 points in it. Kenny Carter and Simon Wigg, perhaps England's best pairing here in Heat 17 against Lance King and John Cook. And everybody absolutely on their toes now, because it's going to be a grandstand finish. It could go either way still. The Americans holding on 2 in front. Carter is on the inside. Next to him, Lance King. Grid 3 has Simon Wigg, who won his last race. John Cook on the outside in yellow and black, where he has looked very lively from the traps. So heat 17, so important, away they go. And who is it that's going to show? It's the Americans. The Americans 1 and 2. It was King who got away, and Cook, and now where is Carter? They'll be looking to Carter and to Wigg, because this really could stitch it up. Unexpected, it was the start, and Carter is going to have to find something very, very special and important now to split the Americans, who are in front. And here comes Carter around the outside, and he missed that corner. Still then, Cook and King together. Carter, England will be looking to. He's got to get up here to give them any chance at all of hanging on in there. So tense, so tight, and Carter is almost over the fence there. Cook now in front, and they look like they're dropping Kenny Carter. And this is a surprise. The Americans, we didn't really expect them to produce this kind of form in this race. And Carter has now just 395 yards to get up on Lance King, who has ridden a beautiful tactical race. And Cook looking back. The Americans are going to hang on in there. And right on the line, Carter, they're slowing up. Cook wins it. King is second. Carter is third. And that maximum means that the Americans cannot be caught. Well, there are the American pairing, and England were looking to Carter there. And they made the start and never made a mistake, and Cook slowed up right on the line to bring home partner King. So that maximum heat win, and you can see how jubilant John Cook is. The Americans are home, and they're going to take this first test.
Yes, an unassailable lead for the Americans after 17 heats of 54 points to 48. Just for the record, Sean Moran won heat 18 ahead of Chris Morton. So the final score, America 58, England 50. By the way, this